So let me tell you a story. This is a story I came up with a while back. On a sunny afternoon, a canary sits in her cage. It's a bright golden cage and it sits right next to the window. She can see the outside sky, but she can't see the ground below her. It just sits kind of down off from the window, not above it, but just enough to see the sky. And she sits in her cage and stares at the clouds, wondering where they are. The window is wide open. There's a beautiful breeze flowing through. It's a nice windy day, much like today. And she wonders what the clouds are, and she thinks of the master of the house and how pretty her cage is and how lucky she is to have that cage. And as she sits and thinks about that on her perch, a raven lands on the windowsill. And she hops over to the canary, and the canary reels back. She's never seen a raven before. Ah! What are you? And the raven says, "Why do you tremble, little one? Have you never seen a raven before?" And the canary goes, "A raven? Oh, I've never seen that before. Where do you come from?" "I come from outside," the raven says. "Outside? What's that?" The canary wonders. She's never seen outside before. And the raven looks at her and goes, "It's outside. It's what's beyond your window." And the canary shakes her head. She says, "There's nothing beyond the window. Just the clouds, and that's something that the master shows me by his grace. And sometimes he makes it rain, sometimes he makes the sun shine." And the raven looks at her, cocks her head a little bit, and says, "Have you ever been outside your cage, little one?" And the canary goes, "Well, why would I do that? It's perfect for me. This cage is made for me. It protects me from everything that I need. Or it protects me from everything, and it contains everything that I need to live." And the raven just sighs and says, "Except for freedom." And the canary gets mad. She ruffles her feathers and she says, "I have freedom. I can do whatever I want. When I want food, I can have it. When I want water, I can drink it. When I want to sing, I sing. Why would I want anything else?" And the raven spreads her wings and says, "But you can't take to the sky and soar. That, little one, is true freedom." And the canary holds out her wings, and the raven sees that her feathers are clipped, very closely cut to the actual wing itself. And the canary goes, "We're not meant for that. We're not meant to fly. These wings are made for me to lift to the master and praise him. That's why the master trims my feathers, so I don't fall into temptation. He made my cage so that I wouldn't have to be up in the air. I know, I don't even know why you would even want that. Our feet belong on the ground, on a perch." And the raven leans closer. She says, "It's our nature to fly free. We're birds. We're not land animals." The canary goes, "Well, it's not in my nature. I'm made for this cage, and this cage was made for me." The raven realizes that she's not going to get through to this canary. And she says, "I hope that one day you'll find your freedom, and you'll fly through the skies with me. Your master clips your wings to keep you grounded and subservient, little one. You are a pet, a plaything. To him, you're nothing but something that's cute and sings. The raven steps forward, and she looks at the little latch on the canary's cage. She says, I'm going to go. But before I go, I'm going to show you the way to true freedom. You see this bar right here? You simply grab it with your beak, lift it, and pull it to the side. And when she does that, the door opens wide. And the canary jumps forward and grabs the door in her beak and slams it shut, holding it for dear life. She's terrified of the outside world. She's like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? You need to leave now. The raven says, very well. And she hops over to the open window. She said, this is the path to freedom, little one. She said, once your feathers grow back in, and before your master clips them away, yet again, you'll have your opportunity. Take it and be free. And with that, she flies off through the window. The canary returns to her perch, pouting. And it's like, good riddance. That crazy bird has lost her mind, like I'd ever leave my beautiful cage. Meanwhile, the raven has flown free, has flown away, and she's soaring over the house. And she sees a car pull up to the house, and a human gets out of the car with something new. A cage, a little animal carrier. And inside it, the raven can see the form of a cat. I originally wrote that story to illustrate the boundaries of a closed mindset. Initially, I was talking about religion, but not just religion. This goes for any closed mindset. A lot of times, we don't realize when we're struggling because we refuse to see it. And it's a hard thing to stop and take a look at what's holding you back and to be able to accept the freedom that you know is there. But it's scary. It's uncomfortable. It's not what you know. And we like to get locked in our comfort zones and not even think about where we could be. Or let me rephrase that. We think about where we could be, but we're too afraid to take the steps to open that cage door and step out and fly away. And that's the scary part. We get locked in those moments where we feel we're stuck. We're not stuck. We get locked in those moments where we think we have everything we ever wanted. Maybe you do. But have you opened the cage door and tried to fly? Because you'll find that the world is so much bigger than just that little life. And if you don't want it, stay in the cage. Go for it. But you have no control over what's outside of that cage. And that's okay. That's okay.